If there's one area of the pitch Manchester City needed to strengthen, was the midfield. It was very, very obvious the last season that just ended, teams were just cutting through Manchester City's midfield. Aside injury issues Manchester City faced, we knew the midfield was very weak. They didn't have legs. The likes of Kovacic, Gundogan was okay, but that midfield wasn't really strong. It wasn't the best. I can say even Arsenal and Liverpool had better midfield than us. Like their midfield had strength and energy. I can say even Chelsea's midfield was very strong and was very, very strong. Even Newcastle United midfield was very, very strong as well. Manchester City's midfield was so weak, and Manchester City are making signings that are actually addressing that issue. Now, the rebuild started from January. The rebuild actually started from January. In January, Manchester City brought in the likes of Kushanov, they brought in Victor Reis, they brought in Mamouche, they brought in Nico Gonzalez, and as the season was, as also in the middle of the season, they brought in Echeverry. Now, in this summer transfer market, they brought in Ryan, they brought in a left back, they brought in Cherki, and they brought in Tijani. Now, Tijani and Cherki, the reason why I'm excited about this one in particular, the left back position, of course, we knew Manchester City have always had issues on that left back. I don't know why. I think the last proper left back Manchester City had at the top of my head was Mendy, and ever since then it has always been like makeshift. Either Pep is playing the centre back in that position, and Nate Ake did play that position very, very well until he got injured. At one point, I can say he was one of the best defenders for Manchester City. That's Nate Ake. That's how good he was playing in that left back position. And when he got injured, Josko Vardio was playing there. Josko Vardio also did the job to the best of his ability. He scored goals, he created chances, but sometimes you can tell he was exposed defensively. But hopefully, bringing in Ryan will address that issue. Ryan will have the ability to go forward, to create chance, to give those assists, and also to come back to defend, because that's key. Coming back to defend, knowing when to go up and knowing when to come back is very, very key. And hopefully, Ryan will address it. Now, for Tijani and Cheki, the reason why I'm very, very happy about those signings, because now we have players that have legs. These guys are young, they will have energy, they will have the ability to go forward, create chance, and also to come back as well. Now, Kevin De Bruyne is leaving, and we know there'll be other players to leave Manchester City. Jack Grealish might likely leave. Bernardo Silva as well might likely leave. Not too sure. We all know Pep is that's his favorite child in Manchester City, Bernardo Silva. So it was very obvious Bernardo Silva couldn't even Venezuela was very slow. Like he wasn't providing legs. He did well this season. Honestly, you can't take away anything. Venezuela always gives his best in for Manchester City, but it was very obvious he didn't have the legs anymore, and we all know why. He's aging as well. So now we have players that will leave, and Manchester City have brought in midfielders, and so far, we hope like so far we can say in that midfield position there we have players now in that midfield position. We have the likes of Nico Gonzalez, we have Tijani, we have Cherki. Gudogan still has one more season to stay. Rodri is still there. We have Phil Foden. We have like there are so many players right now in that midfield. And at the top of my head, I'm saying how do Pep Guardiola set up this team? How do Pep Guardiola set up this team now? Tijani looks like a player that can go forward, create chance, can score goals. Also, he can come back, help defensively. Cherki, I don't think Cherki is a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne. Honestly, I see them very, very different. They are two different kind of players. Um, I think Cherki is more about scoring goals rather than creating. Like Kevin De Bruyne, he always wants to create. He always wants to create for anyone within the team. If he sees the opportunity to score a goal or to go into a good position, he takes it. But it's all about creating that chance for the team. And I don't think Cherki and Kevin De Bruyne are similar. But can Cherki provide assist or create chance? Yes. Can he do that? Yes. Can he score goals? Yes. But I think it's him and Kevin De Bruyne too. I don't think it's in terms of creating chances. I don't think it's like they're very, very different. But one thing I can say is at least Czech is that guy. He looks like that guy that can play anywhere within that attacking position. anywhere within the attacking position on the left, right, maybe as a cam. So hopefully, Pep Guardiola will play him in a position where he can flourish. We all know how Pep Guardiola is. He can decide now to play Cherki as a false nine, as crazy as it may sound, or play Cherki like in a position where he needs to he needs to adapt and become the best in that position. So hopefully Pep Guardiola will play him in a position where he'll actually flourish and he'll actually do so well. But for that midfield going into this new season, I think let's say the FIFA Club World Cup might give us an idea how Pep Guardiola will set up the team, because now Rodri is back. We might see a midfield of maybe Rodri, Tijani, and Cherki, or we might see a midfield of Rodri, Tijani, and Nico Gonzalez. I don't know if that midfield is very rigid or too defensive I don't know. But then again, we know Mamouche in the January signing, the players that Manchester City signed in the January transfer market, Mamouche has done so well so far of all those players. And right now, it looks like it will be so hard for Pep Guardiola to drop Mamouche, because um, Mamouche Mamouche is good, and he can play anywhere also in anywhere in the attacking position, on the left as a striker, on the right. So now you're like, where do Mamouche come into this whole mix? But at the end of the day, Pep Guardiola will have to pick a midfield that will be balanced and also that will help deliver the result he wants for the team. Personally, if you ask me, um, my front three and midfield, the players I would like to see is Rodri, Tijani, and I would like to see. Um, I think I would like to see Nico. I would like to see Nico Gonzalez. Yes. Then on the right, I would like to see Cherki, Haaland, and Omar Mamouche on the left. That's my front three: Omar Mamouche, Haaland, Cherki on the right, Rodri, Tijani, and Nico Gonzalez. That's the kind of midfield I would like to see. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's Pep Guardiola that decides what team, the team to pick. But this signing so far just shows Manchester City knew what the problem was. They knew they needed to act fast. They knew they needed to bring in players that can address those issues. Does this mean Manchester City will automatically go on, like, will have it easy to win the league? No, it doesn't mean that, because we still have the likes of Liverpool that are strengthening their squad. Chelsea also is strengthening their squad. Arsenal also is strengthening their squad. But hopefully, this will make Man City to challenge, because this season that just ended, Man City didn't even challenge. They didn't challenge. Making top four was a real struggle. And at the end of the day, they finished third. But hopefully, with the new players coming in, this will allow Man City to challenge. It doesn't mean Man City will just go on and win the win the league, but like the way almost everyone just believes now, Man City will by January the league is over. We all know it doesn't work like that in the Premier League. It doesn't work like that in the Premier League. You will still have to grind it out. But hopefully these signings will help Man City to challenge, because the season that just ended, if we want to go by this season that just ended, apart from injury, like I said, so many teams were just cutting through that midfield. So many teams, there were no legs. The likes of Chelsea, Newcastle United, Arsenal, Liverpool had better. Their midfield was more solid than Manchester City. Their midfield was very, very, very solid. Their midfield had energy. Their midfield had legs as compared to Manchester City. And now we know we have midfielders that have legs, they have energy, they are young, they can go forward, they can come back also to help defensively. On that left hand side, hopefully that left hand side position will be it's sorted. It's sorted, because we all know Man City don't that left back has always been an area that has always been a problem for Man City, and hopefully Ryan coming in will help address that left back position. He has the ability to go forward, but also I hope he has the ability, like I said, I hope he has the ability to come back to defend also. There's always been makeshift in that position. Sometimes Nate Ake did the job to the best of the ability. Josko Vardy has played in that position as well. Now we know Manchester City need one more signing, which is the right back position, because Walker is leaving, so they need to bring in a right back. whoever they brings in needs to be whoever they brings in also needs to be so it has to be someone that has the ability to go forward, create chance, and also has the ability to come back to defend. But let me know what you guys think about the three new signings for the summer, and let me know your preferred midfield three. For me, like I said, Rodri, Tijani, and Nico Gonzalez, and up front, I would like to see Mamush on the left, Haaland up front, and Cherki on the right. And that's it for me, guys. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you very much.